Hello, 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 Instagram family. Welcome to another Get Real session. I am going to look for my guest. Today we are asking the question, why are you hiding? Why do people hide? How's your week been? We've been pretty much snowed in Toronto, the most snow I've ever seen. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we have so much snow outside, it's ridiculous. More snow than I want to ever see in my life ever again. But yeah, it's sunny today. Don't be fooled. It's maybe minus 10, minus 15, whatever. It's cold. Bottom line, it's cold. So how's everyone doing? How is life in? I'm trying to find my guest. He's here. Hmm. How is life in? Good. Good evening. Good evening. To my mom, always on the show, supporting. Love it. Okay, let me. Okay, Victor unable to join. Okay, so life is good in Toronto. It's cold, snowy, but we're alive. It's nice and sunny. It's almost the end of February, which means that spring should be showing up in a couple of weeks. So we're waiting, hoping that the snow will melt. Um, Sorry, I'm just chatting with Victor. Says you can. Mm. Let me try again. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Victor's phone. Mm. Okay. I don't know why he's struggling to join me. But anyway, today we're talking about why people hide. And this is something that's very, very common with a lot of us because for some reason, a lot of people are afraid to step into their power. And we want to really make sure that we uncover that today and get into some of the reasons why people hide and are afraid to put themselves out there, and maybe some of the ways that you can overcome that this year and really step into your power and your purpose. For some reason, Victor is unable to join. Um, oh, he's joined now. Okay, good. So let me see if I can grab him. Mm, no. Still trying to add Victor. Not quite sure what's going on. Let's see. So yeah, so we're hoping that by the end of today's session, if you've been hiding or you haven't been able to step fully into your power and your purpose, hopefully you will get some tips on how to do that today, because 2025 has just started, and what better way to step into the year with the confidence, knowing that you are on the right path and you do have the support and you can definitely do this. Okay, I'm not sure what is going on with Victor. He's on, but I can't add him. Still saying he's unable to join. Hang on, give me 1 second. Hmm. Okay, I'm not quite sure what is going on with Victor's phone. He's unable to join, and unfortunately, like, this is supposed to be his conversation. Um, I'm going to hop off and see if he can start the video, and let's see. See, technology, you gotta love and hate technology at the same time.
I've actually never done a live, so I had to go back to my settings and say,
Uh,
okay, please allow me. But as
oh,
the more I was doing it, the more it's like, no, you don't have access to Joan.
oh, got you.
How
Awesome.
how are you?
I'm fabulous. How is it? How's the snow?
40 centimeters. It
Like,
is. Could you,
why are we in this country?
I know the strangest thing was last year. I
Mhm.
have the snow removal guys that come up to clear the snow, but they only came like maybe 3 or 4 times.
Because there
So I was
wasn't
like,
a lot of snow.
this year I don't even need it, and I regretted it.
Since your phone is ringing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never cleared this much snow in my life. As in,
I've never seen this much snow in my life.
I cleared so much snow. When I sleep, I hear the shovel.
Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here with us. And,
Yeah,
we've never done a live together, but I've been wanting to do this forever
I
because,
know.
like, if I'm very honest about my journey, like, I met you at a time where I was very confused. I didn't really have a lot of clarity. And there was something that you said to me about 2 years ago that stuck with me. And I reminded you of it a few months
Yeah,
ago, where it was like, the mediocre people are moving ahead
yeah,
and the brilliant ones are there overthinking,
yeah,
overanalyzing, and not being able to move forward. I'm not going to mention the name of the particular person that you used, but that really stuck with
yeah,
me. And it's so great to see you doing this stuff and trying to kick us in the behind,
yeah.
right, to get things moving. So maybe let's just get started with the show because the show is called Why Are You Hiding?
Mm.
Tell me a little bit more about what you see in the world with humans just hiding.
There are a lot of reasons why um, gifted people hide, right? But at the end of the day, so I have like 6 or 7 because it was a personal journey because I had to go into finding out why I was hiding, right? Which is the truth. And some of the answers that I came up with, right, really offended myself, but they're actually true.
Yeah.
Because the number one reason why a lot of people hide is they lack hunger.
Hmm.
People are a lot of people, gifted people are not hungry. There's a quote by Stephen Pressfield. He says that the counterfeit innovator is wildly self-confident. The real ones are scared to death. So
Mm.
I know you don't want to mention the name that I gave to you, but I don't care. I'm not in that circle, right? But let me give you a short story. I had a friend who wanted to go into speaking,
Mhm.
right? Very intelligent guy, but he wanted to do more inspirational, a little bit leaning towards church,
Mhm.
right? But he's very well read. And I've never seen somebody who could articulate things that way. And I was like, why don't you go out and start? And the first thing he told me is that no, I need to build, I need to know more, I need to understand, I was like, dude, have you seen Ndaboski? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, nothing, absolutely no disrespect to him, but you could see the confidence.
Yes.
And confidence attracts people. It's just amazing, right? The more confident you are, the more people say, there's something here because this guy can be saying rubbish or this woman can be saying so much rubbish. But the
The confidence.
confidence at which they are, it just attracts people. And then the crazy thing about confidence is that the more confidence you have, the more opportunities you get. And the more opportunities you get, the more you say to yourself, oh, there might be something I have here that is going on. And when you go, so it's a circle. It's a cycle that just go confidence, opportunities, you take it,
Mm.
more opportunities, and it just keeps going on like that. So I was like, look at this guy. Look at the things. Matter of fact, last year, I like the guy, to be honest. That's Ndaboski, to be honest.
He needs to be
He was on a
studied. Yeah.
European, he was
Yeah.
on a European tour. Think about it. He went on a tour in Europe. But why do people like him and his antics? It's the confidence he
It's the
has.
confidence. Yeah.
Do you understand? So, and we're all attracted to people that are confident. So the main thing that I have seen why gifted people hide is just they don't have the hunger, right?
Mm.
Because if if you're really hungry, you will generate the confidence. Do you understand what I mean? If you're really hungry for something and you know that, listen, if I don't do this, I will die. Or if I don't do this, I'll be frustrated for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the second thing I want to say that joins that hunger is most gifted people that I've seen have options.
Yes, I was just going to say
Yeah,
this. Yeah,
go
options.
ahead, say that.
No, I was going to say it's because they have options,
Yeah,
right?
to be honest, to be honest, like there's a lady, a very close friend of mine, who's actually watching me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Joan. I remember when I was talking to my wife about you, I said, babe, there's this lady that I met that can manifest. I have never seen anybody that can manifest anything. It's almost like you almost want to be jealous that John will be telling you about something, and the next week you tell her to speak to her, and then she's manifested it. I'm like, I will pay to attend your class, you know. And I remember the conversation we had 2 years ago. I was like, please, if you ever have a class or something, I will attend. Do you understand? But Joan had Joan is very brilliant and has a lot of offers. I mean, I remember when you told me that maybe you tell the people about the story about how you wanted to go into a particular industry, and then you just walked into a hotel, and then somebody just met you and offered you a job. That story blew away my mind. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
girl, I want to learn what you have, you
yeah.
know. But when I asked you, you were like, no, I'm not ready. I need to study more. I'm like, have you seen Nwosu, Joan? But tell people that story. The story blows my mind every single time.
Yeah. So like well, like, yeah, a little bit over 2 years ago now. So I was trying to move into cybersecurity, and I just said, I'm going to move into cybersecurity. I'm not going to do what people do, which is go do certification, start studying, do all of this stuff. I just set the intention. Went to some event that I wasn't even really invited to. I was invited
Yeah,
last minute. So I show up. I'm just like, I'll just be here. The people were talking about trade and commerce and whatever. I was just there chilling at the bar. I was there for the drinks. And some guy, the only human who came and spoke to me, he just came and said, what do you do? I'm like, right now I'm trying to get into cybersecurity. He says, oh, I work in cybersecurity. I'm like, oh, okay. He says, what have you done? And I was like, I just want to get into it. And he said, you know what? I might have a job for you.
wow.
I know somebody, I will reach out. The guy's name is Victor. I know somebody, his name is Victor. I will reach out to him and I'll get you linked up. And I just thought, okay, whatever. The very next day, he sends this introduction to the Victor guy. And he's like, hey, I met this lady. I think she's going to be great. Talk to her and get it done. But like, there was no interview. They called me and I was like, oh, when can you start? Da, da, da. And they were paid. When I say they were paying me top dollar, they were paying me freaking top. I'm talking multiple hundred thousands of
in
dollars for a job I'd
in
never done. I
Canada,
hadn't studied. I had in
it's
Canada. I
amazing.
hadn't done any certification. I hadn't done anything. So yeah. So I know. I remember when you called me out on that, saying you have something. But at that point, I was like, but it's not a big deal,
Hmm.
right? Who's going to want to listen to me, right? Go out and teach this stuff. I'm like, no, I don't know enough to teach anybody. So I totally understand when you say gifted people. Um, we
Have
hide.
options.
We
Yeah,
hide because we have options. I've been hiding for many years because I always have a 9 to 5. Like I never have to worry about a job. I can always pick up a job just like that.
yeah.
And that's what kept me stuck for many, many years. But what you told me, you keep telling me every time you and I have a conversation, it's like, okay, you're still not, you're still hiding. Okay, all right, I'm waiting for you. But you
Yeah.
really helped me to step out and just be like, you know what, I'm ready for this.
Mhm.
Let's just go in guns blazing. If people like Ndaboski can do it, why not you? Right?
Honestly, I remember my wife had she attended a business seminar. Then we were still in Lagos,
Hmm.
so she attended this business seminar for women. And after the I went I dropped her off, so I went later in the evening to pick her up, and so she just give me just about the whole event. After like 45 to after about 45 minutes, she said something. She said, everything they told me is what you tell me at home. And then she said, so why don't you teach this? So then I had a logistics company, and I was like, no, when I become the biggest logistic owner, then I can come out and I can show people, I have proof. But that's a lie.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't step out is the same thing we were saying, that gifted people usually have choices because there are different things you can do. And then another major reason that stops gifted people from going out is that we are so intelligent, we can make up very data-backed excuses.
Of course.
my, my spouse always says that anytime we're in an argument, that I already have my articulated backed points, that it's always, it's no, but we always have a reason why we can't do something, and it is backed by data. We have facts.
That is so true.
Do you understand? So, but there's a quote that I saw the other day. It said that time may you may delay, but time won't.
Ooh.
Right? You may delay, but time won't. And I will never forget the day where I remember this few weeks ago. There was a time where my younger brother and I were having pillow fights with my dad. We're very young, we're having pillow fights and all that. And after the pillow fight, we I think I was maybe 10 and my brother was 7 or something. So we're shooting our dad random questions. And one point I told him, I said, Dad, how old are you? And he smiled. He didn't look at me, he just smiled. And he said, I'm 47. And the reason I remember is because I'm one birthday away from being 47. Do you understand? And I'm just thinking that if we don't bring out our gift and share to the world, at one point, because I literally remembered when all my father's kids and all my father's friends' kids were going to university. I remember when they were starting getting married. I literally remember when all his circle, people started dying.
Right.
Heart attack, one thing or the other.
Yeah.
And I just said to myself that we may delay, but time won't. So that's one thing that gifted people should know, that you might keep delaying, right? But time will catch up to you. Like, I'm literally 3 years from being 50. Like, it scares me. Like,
why you like?
it scares me.
Yeah,
it scares me.
it
So
is around the corner.
so gifted people need to like really look in and know that you don't have time. You really don't have time. And one thing I'll say, and I'll hand it back to you, is that I've learned something in life, that people don't care. Like, we're always trying to think that, oh, I have to get everything right. I don't want people to be laughed at. But think about it. You woke up with only one person in mind this morning, and that is you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So people are too busy to even notice that you're doing something new.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So when people realize that nobody cares, like, I'm busy with my bills, my spouse, my kids, my own life. Do you understand? To think that I'll be bothered about somebody else. So by the time you realize that nobody cares, it throws things off you.
Yes.
And there's somebody said something, and he was explaining. He said he was talking about, don't despise the days of humble beginnings. And he said the reason you shouldn't despise the humble beginnings, because your humble beginnings are when you can make mistakes in obscurity. Like, imagine if Apple makes a mistake on its next iPhone, or Mercedes-Benz. Imagine what happened to Volkswagen when they lied on their diesel. They paid billions of dollars. So big people, when you're big, you're too big to miss. But when you start small, and that's my encouragement to gifted people, I like, start small. You will make mistakes, and people will always understand, like, oh, you're just starting out. They will understand, so you have to really understand that nobody cares. When you realize that nobody cares, it frees you and liberates you to just go out and do you.
So I want to talk about the nobody cares. So there's the nobody cares, and then there's people trying to hold you back because it's unfamiliar, right? And I know that I experience that a lot, especially from family members, from friends. They're doing it to protect you, or so they claim. They're doing it to protect you, but they're holding you back from moving ahead because they know you. They see you from whatever perspective that they think they know you. And it's like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? But I know somebody who's tried and it didn't really work out. Why do you want to quit your job? Your job is secure. You need stability. You need you should settle down. You should live here. You shouldn't do that. And so these naysayers are constantly in your ears, right? So they may not deeply, really, really care, but they think that they're helping you. They're trying to protect you from making what they think could potentially be a mistake. So how can, especially the culture we're from, where people have a lot of unsolicited opinions, what are some of the things for people who are thinking, I want to venture out and do this? I know I have a gift that I'm here to share with the world. how can they ignore those naysayers, especially from family and friends, and still keep moving forward on their purpose and their
You
mission?
know, as you're saying that, I remember the story that Jay-Z told. You know, he said when he was a kid, his mom bought him a boombox, like that radio,
Hmm.
that big, so that it can keep him away from the streets. So when he started off, I think he said it was around 12 or 13. So he was, freestyling, rapping, and all
Hmm.
that. And he said his uncle, his mom's brother, told him straight to his face that you can never be a successful rapper. His mom's brother that was living in his mom's house, you know. But Jay said something which is something that what I'm trying to say. He said that he never got offended because the man was projecting his own limitations
Yeah.
to him. You understand? He was projecting his own limitation that I don't see myself getting out of this struggle. I don't see myself getting out of this ghetto. I don't see myself getting out of this bind that I'm in. So a lot of family members project their own insecurities to you. They project their own limitation.
Yes.
Do you understand? And at the end of the day, everybody's for himself because you alone know what you're going through. You alone know how it's, as they say it in pidgin English, you alone know where it's pinching you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So we have people every single day, especially family members are the most
Very
dangerous
good.
because they know where it hurts.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They really know where it hurts. So, but a lot of them are projecting their own limitations at you. That's the first thing you should remember. Even if they say, oh, we're just looking out for you. At the end of the day, they're projecting their limitation because when you do make it, they'll be the first ones to say that I know you had it in you.
Hey, 100%.
Yeah.
I always knew. Like, I, okay. So that brings me to my second point now. So, like this journey of sharing your gifts or being an entrepreneur or doing get like leaving the hamster wheel, like I like to say, and venturing out on your own. It's a very lonely and quite painful path.
Very
And it
long.
scares people. And humans, we're wired for union. We need support from each other. And most times, people who go on this journey don't get the support that they're looking for, and so
Mm.
they quit. They're like, "Oh, I need somebody to be able to bounce ideas off of. I need somebody to guide." I used to call you, Victor. In fact, one time I called Jay and said, "Joan, this is the last time I'm giving you free advice." And I'm like, this is not it. Because as humans, we're constantly
Yeah.
looking for people to support us and to cheer us on.
Yeah.
And I don't have that need so much now, but before I needed people to just say, "You're doing a good job. Keep going. Keep pushing." I like that. And you used to do that with my YouTube videos. You're like, "Oh, I saw this YouTube video. It's really good." So for people who don't have that support, they want to do this stuff, the stuff we're talking about, but they don't have the support from family, friends, from nobody. How can you encourage them that it's still worth going on this journey, even though it's a lonely journey?
David in the Bible says, I encourage myself in the Lord. The truth about
Encourage
it is
yourself.
this. The
Yeah.
truth about it is that it's your journey and it is a you journey. And it's definitely going to be a lonely journey. Do you understand? But don't despise the days of humble beginnings. It's not just a place where you can make mistakes in obscurity, but it's a place where you build resilience. Because life will test you.
Mm.
Life will test you every single day. Like, are you sure you don't want to? Are you sure you don't want to take two more steps up in cybersecurity? Are
Yes.
you sure you want to leave this?
Yeah.
Life will test you, but
Mm.
if you can come to the point where you can defend it with yourself and say, "This is the path I'm going to take," because your greatest opponent is the voice you hear inside of your head, right? That is the greatest opponent. And if you can find a way to silence that voice or to find a way to tell that voice that this is what we are going to do. Because the other day, I said it on one of my YouTube videos. I woke up early in the morning, around 4 in the morning, to go to the bathroom, to ease myself and all that. And I just got up from sleep, just few steps to the bathroom door, something so negative passed in my mind. I was like, where did this come from? Like something that was like really condemning me. Like I was like, where is this voice coming from? But it was so you find out that this is a voice that builds with you over time. Maybe
Mm.
something that you try to do something, your teacher said that you're not good enough, your parents say something you're not good enough, and all that. But at the end of the day, you have to learn that you need to prove it to yourself. Because someday when when your thing goes big, you have to feed other people and tell them, listen, you can do this. Why do I know that you can do it? Because I went through it, right? It's like when I advise people that are coming to Canada now, they're coming from, maybe they're coming from Nigeria, and I'll say, don't sell your properties in Nigeria. Don't sell your this. Don't sell your that. Don't, because I've made some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And there are things I discovered for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will never ever not pay for somebody to not clear
Yes.
my driveway again. So so you have to understand that it is a lonely journey. It is a you journey. So you have to be able to come to the point where you can encourage yourself, inspire yourself, understand that this is the reason why I do this thing or I did this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't inspire you can't inspire anyone. If you can't defend you can't defend anybody. So, but one thing I always assure people is that when you start, it gets easier. That's the truth about it. And a lot of people get so, okay, am I going to leave? Sorry, I keep using cybersecurity. Am I going to leave cybersecurity and, start motivation and all that? But start small. Don't leave that yet because you need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But start small. Start small and just keep going at it. And every day you find out something unique about yourself. It's like how I tell people that there's purpose is not defined. It's something that you discover every single day. You understand? You discover it oh, I like this. I don't like this. Or this resonates with me. I don't resonate. This doesn't. So just to anybody who wants to start, just start small. One step, one step, one step. Like I lost 30 kg in 3 months, right? I'm sure and maybe you didn't see me when I was over, overweight and all that. But when I decided I was going to change, I just did 3 things and I just did it every day. I did intermittent fasting. I still do it to today. I have my first meal around 12 or 1 p.m. and my last meal around 6, 7. Then I do what you call brisk walking on the treadmill with dumbbells. I just did that every single day. I dropped 30 kg in 3.5 months. Do you understand? So there's power in consistent baby steps. So if you want to start, to whoever that's listening that wants to start, just take baby steps, but let it be consistent. Don't drop everything. I'm going to quit my job. No, that's not realistic. Take consistent baby steps.
I love that because we live in a world of everybody is looking for that quick reward, get rich quick. It's like I posted my first YouTube video. Why don't I have 50,000 followers? Yeah, it doesn't really work that way, right? So people get very discouraged very quickly because the world is so fast. You're looking at other people who've been at it for years and you're thinking that they just started a week ago. And then you try and then you fail. So I think it's very key as you're growing consistently, taking baby steps. Don't be expecting to make $1 million in 30 days. Anybody that's telling you they can make $1 million in 30 days, you're paying what you're paying for that course is not giving them that money. So just keep doing it. If it's something that, and I'm going to talk about what a gift is and purpose is, but if you feel called or led to do something, right, you're doing it to serve humanity. It's not so much for the financial gain. The moment you put that pressure of I need to make money from it, it's a different kind of energy. Right. So just keep going and keep building gradually, consistently. It will pay off at the end. So let me circle back to gift. What is your definition of gift? Because we've used gift a lot of times today. What is a gift? And does everybody have a gift to share with the world?
Yeah, everybody does. One of the biggest, we've both come from church. So we've experienced it from both ends. Back then they will tell you that if you want to, the only way you can discover your purpose is if you ask God. So I asked for like 10 years and nobody said anything. Right? And to be honest, like, because I had a season in my life, years ago. So I started asking the people that were telling me to go and ask God about my purpose. And I said, what is your own purpose? What did God tell you? But at the end of the day, we make it so complicated. Gift is something that you just love to do naturally.
There you go.
It doesn't have to be, growing up, I used to wonder why when I watch preachers in America, they'll say, when they want to talk about doing good work, they say you be a missionary in Africa. Like, what
That
What
was
is
it.
that even? That was
Yes.
it. You understand? Gift is anything that you love to do naturally. And one thing I always tell people is that if I were to give you $50 million, tax free, right? But I give you a caveat that you have to work. You still have to work. It's your money. You can spend it however you want to spend it, but you have to still find something to do, and you do whatever you want to do. What is that one thing that you want to do? Do you understand? The crazy thing about life is we refuse to do the things that come naturally to us. It is a painful thing. I heard Bob Proctor say it one time and it really resonated. He said, humans refuse to do the things that come naturally to them. He said, why do we do that? So it can be anything. I have a sister-in-law that her name is Abigail, and I'll just give you her story. So when we got married, we wanted to bring her from where she was to join us in Lagos, and
Mm-hmm.
family started calling her, "Oh, you're going to Lagos to be a glorified nanny. You're going to be this. You're going to be that." And but I just said to her, "Do you know what? Just just ignore them and come over and all that." But we saw that she had a gift with children. She just loves children, you know. And at the end of the day, one thing led to the other. After she went through university, she now said, "Okay, I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on because even if you have a gift, you have to specialize on something."
Yeah.
She said, "Okay, focus on children with special needs." Today, if she has at least 8 employees,
Wow.
and she has a waiting list of over 35 kids, a waiting list.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. She's worked with kids that I've never spoken. She told me this story last year. She said that she was working with this girl that had, I think, cerebral, whatever. And this girl has never uttered a word in 7 years of her life. And just 2 weeks of working with her, she walked into the house one day and the girl just screamed, "9!" You know,
Wow.
and her mom started crying. She started crying. But you see, it's a gift that comes naturally to her. Children, it just comes naturally. So a lot of us have things that come naturally to us. But I said to somebody that if you could go back 30 years, what are you going to tell yourself? What is that one message you're going to tell yourself? And for me, if I could go back 30 years, what I'll tell myself is don't disrespect your gift. I'm serious. Don't disrespect the things that comes naturally to you. Do you understand? Don't disrespect the things that, people say, oh, before they used to say that it had to be lawyer, engineer,
Doctor.
doctor. Now parents
Anything
will
else,
tell
you're a
you,
failure.
go and practice football. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So everybody has a gift. Everybody has something that comes naturally to them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The key is to, just because it comes naturally to you, one, don't disrespect it. Two, try and specialize on something. Speaking comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
You understand? Creativity comes naturally to me, right? So find the things that come naturally to you. That is your gift, and work on it, and don't disrespect it.
Yeah. I love that message where you say specialize it. And again, a lot of people take their gifts for granted. And I think we live in a world where we're constantly looking at what other people are doing. We're opportunistic by nature, where it's like, no, but these people are making money in crypto. Let me go and do crypto. Oh, but now they said it's real estate. You're in Canada, yeah, real estate. Let me go and do real estate. So we keep ignoring our own natural gifts
Yeah.
because we undermine it. We think, who's going to pay me for this? Like, this is something that comes naturally. Doesn't everybody know how to speak? Like, what's the
A,
big deal?
a friend of
It
mine,
is a big
a
deal.
friend of mine, one of the biggest gospel artists, he said I should have taken him seriously and managed him. I see you, Peter.
But these are the things that we keep doing. We keep chasing what is outside of us, like Elmara is saying. We keep looking at other people and trying to copy them
Yes,
and be them, right? Rather than going and sitting with yourself and asking yourself that question: what comes naturally to me?
that's
And
true.
build on that. Start from there. Start small. You're not going to be an overnight success. But again, you also said go and refine your craft. Go and specialize,
Mm.
right? So that you know what it is that you're doing.
And that is not an excuse not to start, because a lot of people will now say, "Oh, I need to specialize."
I need to go do PhD.
you know, always take out money from the equation.
Yes.
Money comes naturally. Yes, it will come at its appointed time, but you have to, once you take money out of the equation, things come easier. And that's why I tell people, like I was talking to a young guy who is very gifted, you understand, but he was about to get married and all that, he wants to get married, but he has a day job, but he wants to follow his gift. And I said, listen, to be the man that you're called to be, you need to have two things. You have to have a vision and a means of provision. You
Ooh.
understand? Your vision is your gift. Your vision is your work. Your means of provision is your job. Do you understand? One gives you finances, another one gives you fulfillment. But you need to keep working at it until both of them can converge. So until then, keep your means of provision while you work on your vision. Like how they say that don't work for somebody for 9 to 5 and go home and can't work on yours for 5 to 11.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If you put 2 hours in your vision in a year, you have spent 700 hours. There's nothing you can't be if you don't give it 700 hours. Like you can be, there's nothing you can be if
It's
you give
nothing.
it
700
700.
hours is a lot.
Do you understand? But time is one thing that everybody starts with equally. Well, from Elon Musk to the Almajiri on the streets, everybody starts with 24 hours equally. So imagine just putting 2 hours. I'm even old, I'm being very conservative.
Yeah, 2 hours is
Just
not a
put
lot.
two,
Yeah.
two
Mm.
hours. That comes to 700 hours. You can learn French if you can learn you can learn Chinese if you give it eight
Like,
700 hours,
yeah.
700 hours every single year. So that is the thing that you know makes people miss the mark. They keep thinking about the big picture. Forget the big picture. The big picture is there's nobody that draws a portrait. It just appears. It starts with a stroke. So that stroke is every 2 hours, every single day, every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave your day job. Don't leave your means of provision.
Yes.
Do you understand? Keep
That's so
your means of provision
powerful.
until your vision can pay the bills.
That is so powerful. Look, anybody who's listening, if you haven't, I'm going to put your YouTube link. If you haven't gone to follow Victor's YouTube channel, every time I need a pep talk, I just go to your YouTube. I'm like, okay, which message is for me today? Pick me up the hiney. But that's what we need. We need that constant reminder that, look, there's no time. Just get started. Start small. You will make mistakes. It's okay.
It's
Keep chipping
okay.
away at your gift. It will work out in the
It's
end. It will.
okay. As in, it's okay. It's that's so powerful. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay. Like nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah.
I sometimes when I have two girls. One is 13 and the other is 10. And the one that is 13, her name is Christine. We're always clashing because she's a creative person like me.
Um,
So sometimes when she sits down and sketches a dress, she's bored. Maybe she's having a math lesson, and while the math teacher is talking, my daughter sketches a dress from the 1800s, and I'm like, where did you get this from? So sometimes I talk to her and I'm like, and I'm not trying to tell her like don't be like me, but I'm also trying to tell her that you have time to start something. And so that's what I keep telling people, that you have 24 hours. It's 24 hours that everybody gets.
okay.
Dedicate 2.5 hours, dedicate 3 hours every single day. It's okay, right? Dedicate 2 hours, dedicate 3 hours, because I tell some people that I live for the day I die. And what does that mean? When I'm lying on my deathbed, by God's grace, I'm going to be old and be on my deathbed. I tell people that if you can think on the day you die and you can look back as you think about your life before you transition, and if you can say that I am glad I did that, of all men, of all people, you're one of the most fortunate people.
Yeah.
To look back and say, I'm glad I married this person. I'm glad I took this job. I'm glad I took this thing. A lot of Benjamin Franklin said that some people die at 25, but they're not buried till they're 75. Do you
Mm.
understand? You know what your gift is, but you throw it away at 25 and say this is not realistic, only to get at 75 and say, my God, I wish I did this. So I don't want to be on my deathbed and say to myself, man, why didn't I do that? Do you understand? Even if it doesn't work, there are projects that I've done that didn't take off, But I look back, I'm like, I did
You did
it.
it.
Like I love it. It's
Absolutely.
off my book.
Yeah.
It's off my to do things that and gifted people will have gazillions of things to do. But to look back and say that I'll never die and say I wish I did that and why didn't I do that? So it's crazy.
Mm. Wow. Well, your gift is blessing a lot of us, and people are saying it's very edifying, and it's so true. And I wish there were more people like you versus the naysayers who keep telling you reasons why you shouldn't get started, why you should stay in that job, become a lawyer, become a doctor, become a this, hey, job security. All of that is nonsense, right? You can do that, like you said, for provision, but you still need to go on your own personal vision of life.
Yeah,
You need to pour back into the world that you came into
yeah.
and make sure that on your deathbed, you're able to say, you know what? I did it.
I
It
did
didn't
it.
always work out, but you see, I did it. It's not, I'm not going
Yeah.
to be listening to other people's stories saying, oh, one time when I went ice skating, no, I tried ice skating, I fell, and it's all good. Never going to do that again, right? So I think you're a blessing in my life,
Mm,
and I just want to say, as you keep growing from strength to strength and you keep imparting these words, because the things that you say to me, I know that there's no way it's coming from just you. Like you're
mm,
way wiser, you're wise beyond your age,
mm.
and I'm thankful that you walked into my life. We met quite strangely, right,
Yeah.
through a cartoon,
That's one.
but somehow we hit it off, and like everything you've said to me has only helped me to get to where I am
Yeah.
today. So I'm eternally grateful to you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I'm grateful too. One thing I want to tell people is that everybody goes through imposter syndrome,
Mm.
right? We all, a lot of times we don't want to project our gift, project our calling because we feel like what somebody's going to discover us and find out that you
Fake,
understand and find out that
fake.
you're fake. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
We need to understand that even Tony Robbins, think about it. It might not be in the right context, but even Jesus said, who do people say I am?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
understand?
yeah, yeah.
Like you will ask yourself that question. You would feel that no, I'm not, people will find me out. But every single person, every single person in the world has a little bit of imposter syndrome, always feels like, why am I going to tell these people while I'm still dealing with this? Your gift has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the
Oof.
people. You understand? Um, Trees don't eat their fruits.
Mm,
The fruits belongs to the world.
mm,
There's no tree in the world that's eating its
mm.
fruits. So we're always into ourselves saying that,
Get
oh,
over
I'm an imposter.
yourself.
But
Yeah.
your fruits is not for you, it's for the people. Imagine a mango tree saying that it doesn't want to give its fruits because it feels like it's an imposter. It doesn't make any sense. So every single person, every single person goes through that phase. But the
Yes.
more you do, the more you go out to step out and do, the lesser, that voice will
Yeah.
go, and you begin to say, it's like how Drake says that it's crazy when you are who you think you are. Like Jay-Z says that the craziest thing that happens to him, he wakes up, he's like, Beyonce is my wife. Like, do you understand? You are who you think you are. The
Yeah.
more you do it, the more you,
Yeah.
you begin to realize that voice starts going out because people come out and validate you and say,
Oh, yes.
what the other day I had somebody reach out to me on YouTube from India. He said that the guy's always stuck, but he said that now my videos have totally changed his life. I'm just in Canada here, just putting out videos, but it's touched somebody. Some days I don't. There's a meme that I like, a Nigerian meme. He says the guy said that today we don't have any motivational quote for you. If you want to give up, give up. Some some days I wake up like that, man. I don't feel like talking to anybody.
I agree.
But you put something out, and somebody from somewhere in Sri Lanka or South Africa say thank you so much, and that means a lot. So your gift is a fruit that does not belong to you. You don't have a right not to give it out. So
You don't have a right not to give it out. So
mm,
everybody go find your gift and give it
yeah,
out. It's something that you've been blessed with, not for you. You came to this world for a purpose. Don't die
don't
without
die
doing
without
it, without
don't die without
accomplishing.
doing it.
Share your
I'm
gift. Oh
telling
my
you.
God, this has been so amazing. What final words? Minus go and follow his YouTube for daily ass whooping because sometimes he's not so kind. He says things and I'm just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
that was for me. Yeah, but it's very, very necessary.
If
Final
if the,
words.
if the final word is, I read a lot of quotes. I have hundreds of quotes. Quotes are like pick me uppers. So you can read something that just somebody said that 1 hour with a wise person is equals to 100 books. But Joseph Campbell said that the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Everything that you're looking for, the universe is everything is in abundance. There's an abundance of air, there's an abundance of life, we are the only ones who work with a scarcity mindset, but everything is in abundance. So my last words to everybody watching this is that your gift is there's another quote that I like. He's a German. He was alive during the Nazi time, so people are very careful. But he said that when you stare into the abyss stares into you. But now there might be a lot of explanation to that. But what I learned from that is that your potential is like an abyss. There's so much potential in there, and your potential is also looking at you and saying, "What are you going to do about me?" Do you understand? So it's when you stare into the darkness, darkness stares into you there. So the cave you fear to enter that has darkness has all your treasure. Do you understand? And it has all your gifts. So don't be afraid to walk in it. Do you understand? The other day I was watching Tony Robbins doing his he had an interview with a private jet, the guy that sells private jet, and his private jet is worth like $60 million. And I was just watching, and I remember when he started, he said he was living in his Volkswagen, his VW. You understand? But he entered into that cave and now he has all the treasures. Do you understand? So don't be afraid to walk into that cave. It might be lonely, but one step after one, consistent baby steps, you begin to find all the treasure. It will first of all start with souls telling you that I'm so grateful you did this business. I'm so grateful for your scented candles. I'm so grateful for your this, whatever it is. And before you know it, the treasure that you seek will come to you.
Love it.
Mm.
Wow. Thank you so, so much. I want to
You're
encourage
welcome.
everyone to jump into the cave this week. Just
Yeah,
get started. It's scary, it's lonely, but it's worth it.
yeah.
That's the reason for our existence, and you will be happy that you did. And the people you're called to serve will also be thankful that you showed up and you stopped hiding and you stepped into your power.
Just like people are grateful for Ndaboski too.
Ndaboski Bahosi. Well, thank you so much, Victor, for being here.
All right.
I'm going to pull you back on
Yeah,
because I can never get enough of
anytime.
talking to you. You're such an inspiration to me, to everybody that that dares to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing what it is that you do.
Thank you
You're
for inviting
definitely a light as
me.
well.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right, and thanks everyone for joining. I'm not going to see you next week, Amara. I know you're supposed to be on next week, but I'm moving next week, so I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. But thank you for joining me this week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're in Canada, happy snowing. For the rest of the world, have a great weekend.
All right. Take
All
care.
right, thanks, Vic.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Yeah.